This afternoon, I'd like to talk to you about the different ways that I use to connect to my intuition. Before I do that, though, I want to apologize for not showing up the past couple of days. And this apology is for you as much as for me. I had made a commitment to do 30 days, and my body just decided, nope, I need to do some self-care. So I literally was in bed for 2 days. I wore myself out. I forget that I don't have the energy that Roy does. He's a go, 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 go. And I just don't work that way. And my body was said, yeah, you need to take some self-care time and you need to not do anything for a couple days. I will be adding those 2 days on to the end of my 30 days because I made a commitment to myself as well as to you. So the different ways that I connect to myself, I've got about 8 or 9 different ways that I do that. And one of my favorites, number one, is my tarot and oracle decks. I have quite a few tarot cards and even more oracle cards. Roy's always teasing me about if I'm getting more. I usually do. But what I do is I'll get a deck of tarot cards and play with them, see if I connect with them. And if I don't, then I donate them. Give them to friends or, donate them to other people that I know would use them. Because I read intuitively, even though I'm learning the traditional readings of each card, I don't typically read them that way. When I read for myself, which is what I've always done, is I've done readings for myself. I've not done readings for anybody else. More because I'm not comfortable doing readings for anybody else right now. And because I feel like I'm still learning, the cards and learning how to read them and learning how to turn them into a story. I've done that a couple times. It's really interesting. And I'm sure that there are traditional tarot readers out there who are going to say, oh, you can't read for yourself. You're not going to get accurate readings. And to some degree, I can understand that. And yet, when I do readings for myself, I make a point of looking for the shadow. I make a point of paying attention to the other side of the story of what I'm reading. So I don't only go for the positive and all the great and, all the wonderful things that may happen or wonderful answers to my questions. I make a point of looking for that shadow and looking for that area that maybe I need to work on. Otherwise, I don't feel like I'm learning. I don't feel like I'm learning about myself. And that's the whole point of using this as a tool for connecting with my intuition, is that I read both sides, not just the good, not just the great, not just the positive, but I also read the things that I need to learn about myself to improve. So when I read the things that I don't necessarily want to know. Sometimes I've got a couple decks that I read specifically. They're more blunt. It's kind of hard to explain if you're not somebody who's familiar with cards. Sometimes your intuition tells you things you don't necessarily want to know, but that you need to know. And with the tarot cards, I feel like I get that a lot more than with any of the other modalities that I use. So my tarot cards and my oracle cards. And I love the art. I gotta say it. I love the art in those cards, the different cards that I use. I may do another video and show you the different decks that I have and some of my favorites. So if you want to see that, then let me know, send me, please put a comment down below and let me know if that's something you'd be interested in. Now, one of the other methods that I use is, and I've talked about this before, is prayer and meditation. So I can't remember where I heard it or where I saw it or read it, that prayer is you speaking to the universe and meditation is you listening. So I've talked about meditation. I've talked about, sitting quiet and being able to find your way of meditating. But I also want you to know that prayer is not just for religion. If you're in traffic and you're saying, oh, please clear up traffic, or, I don't feel good, please help me feel better, or, help me find my soulmate or somebody that I will spend my life with. Those are prayers. And if you're not taking time to meditate or find some way of quieting yourself and listening, you're not going to get the answers that you're looking for. They're just going to pass you on by. You're not going to, if you're not quiet and you're not paying attention to the person that's in your circle, that may be the person that you're supposed to be with, because you're so busy trying to find something outside of you, somewhere out there, you're going to miss great opportunities. So prayer is asking, meditation is receiving. All right. One of the other things that I use is a pendulum. And I get some people are going to be like, oh my God, it's all these witchy things. Pendulums I love because when I need a yes or no answer, I'm going to get it. When I need something that's more definitive and less obtuse, I'm going to get that from a pendulum. And I have the boards that I use that have the yes, no, maybe. I have sheets that like half circles that I've created that I might share later. I may share some PDFs on the ones that I've created. But it's a way for me to get a more definitive answer on something that is, maybe, is this a good choice? Yes or no. Thing is that with the pendulum, you have to be very discerning in knowing that your pendulum has your energy and is not using the energy of something else or someone else. If you're touching, like I've done this with Roy, if I'm touching Roy and I ask a question, there's a lot of times where I'm going to get his energy and his answer. It's very weird. It's not weird. It's very interesting, because if I don't want it to seem like it's a woo-woo kind of crazy thing when it's my intuition speaking or his intuition speaking, because I really do believe that it is our energies speaking through these modalities. So whatever you use, it's your intuition speaking to you. Now, whether you choose to believe it or not, that's on you, and that's fine. Another way is with journaling. And I've talked to you so many times about journaling. This way in particular is writing a question with my dominant hand and then answering with my non-dominant hand. So I'm left-handed, so I ask the question with my left hand and then I answer with my right hand. Now, a lot of times, I love Leonardo da Vinci, and what he did is he wrote in mirrored form. So he literally wrote backwards, so that the only way you could read his writing was if you put it up to a mirror. And when I write with my non-dominant hand, that's what I tend to do. And I'm not quite sure why. It seems easier to me to write that way than to write the correct way, which would be, left to right instead of right to left. I don't only write left to right, but all the letters are backwards. So you would have to put it to a mirror to be able to read it. And I'm not sure why, but I get some very interesting hits and very interesting responses from my intuition when I write that way. And I know that it's because I'm moving my brain from the logical to the more creative, which is what happens when you're using your non-dominant hand. That logic kind of gets pushed out of the way, and you're using your more creative side of your brain. So it's one of all of these are actually my favorite, but that's one of my more commonly used, because I do my journaling every morning. And so I will try to do a page or at least a paragraph or two in that way. So if I have a question that I'm asking myself for the day, even if it's something as, simple as what's my plan for the day, then I write it out that way. The next way is time in nature. I am all about spending time in nature. I will go in the backyard and sit by a big tree. You've noticed most of my videos are outside, because that's where I feel the most comfortable. I feel most alive. I am able to speak more intuitively because it's just coming through me. Whatever needs to be said is said. And walking in the grass and just kind of being quiet and not, listening to the leaves, not listening to the leaves, listening to the wind, just kind of being in nature is a great way to connect to your intuition. The next one is quiet time by myself, but quiet time by myself daydreaming. And when I was a kid and I was in school and I would daydream out the window, I would get, admonished, pay attention. You're in school. You need to be paying attention. Stop daydreaming. And I went through a period where I really didn't daydream. I didn't make the time for that. But Einstein got his greatest insight through that. I know Tesla did too. And so spending that time to daydream and just imagine what the world could be like, or, you know, a problem that you're working on, just kind of vaguely ruminating on it. Daydreaming is one of the best ways to solve problems, because you let your mind just wander, and it picks up on different hits that you wouldn't get when you're so busy doing. So it's one of my favorite ways. And next is signs from the universe. I am always getting feathers. I've had a feather fall down in my living room. Like, where? Why? Where did this feather come from? I have no idea. Numbers on the license plates, billboards, literally billboards. All of these signs from the universe. And there are other things, subtle things, like a hit to go drive down a particular road, or take this particular route to wherever it is I'm going. If you're doing all of these things to build your intuition, the last one is having the faith to pay attention and follow those intuitive hits. If you're doing all of these things to increase your intuition and you're not following the hits, then what's the point of doing all of this? There isn't any. And the last thing is faith. And this is not that difficult for me, but apparently for other people is just having faith that things are going to work out, and having faith that all the signs that I see and all of the hits that I get and all the answers that I get from my intuition are in my best interest. I know that there are times when it doesn't feel that way, but I do know that that's the case. And I really, truly believe that things will always work out for the best, even when, like I said, it doesn't seem like it's going to be that way. But having faith that the things that I'm picking up on are accurate. And the more that I connect with my intuition, the more that I follow those hits, the more that I acknowledge those hits out loud, or, you know, writing them down, or just following the hit that I get. It says, take this route, or, you know, answer this person, or whatever it may be. The more that I do that, the stronger my intuition gets, because the more that my sunshine that I call my intuition is more inclined to tell me what I need to hear. But if I don't have the faith in that, and I don't believe it, or I treat it as, you know, oh my gosh, this weird thing happened, or this, you know, kind of crazy thing happened. No, it's something that's innate. It's something that's true and will treat me properly. I'm at work and Roy just opened the door, so I had to pause the video for a second, or else you'd see, you know, his butt. He's got a cute butt though. So anyway, so following your intuition, making sure that you do acknowledge that those hits are in fact real, that they are leading you down a good path. And here's the thing, if your intuition is telling you to do something and you're not sure of it, the way that you know that you're sure of it and that it is your intuition speaking to you is it's something that lights you up, something that makes you happy, something that makes you feel good. Sadie, my barking dog, my ego, my negative Nelly, will tell me things, and when she says stuff, I know that it's stuff to protect me, but it's maybe old fears or old ideas or old beliefs that she's protecting me from, that I know that I need to be discerning on and say, nope, that's not something that I need to be concerned with. But there are times when the barking dog or the ego is warning me about something. I'm uncomfortable around a particular person, or uncomfortable in a particular place. I pay attention to that and I take it to heart, because that is something that is an innate gut knowing that you're like, okay, this is not a safe situation. Listen to that. But if your intuition is telling you something and it lights you up and it makes you feel good, then you know that that's your intuition and that's a good thing. Follow that. Don't discount it. Don't, you know, disregard it, because that voice will get quieter and quieter if you don't. The way for you to encourage it and the way for you to make it louder is for you to acknowledge it. So if you want to use some of these, if you've got your own and ways of connecting to your intuition, I'd love to hear what they are, because I will always add something to my repertoire. I do not care. If it's something that works, I will continue to add. So do that. Share in your comments, let me know what it is that you do. And I forget this every time, but if this is something that resonates with you, please subscribe. Hit the notification bell, the little thumbs up, all that good stuff. I'll add the videos to the past 30 days or 10 days, however many days it's been. And don't forget, live life adventurously. It's the only way to live. Bye.